Look at this. Totally cracked. Hey, everybody. Whoa, you've got to check this out. I had no idea. Here, let me see if I can change the ISO setting here for you so you can get a little brighter. Look at this. I had no idea. Totally cracked. Totally cracked. Look at this. Look at this. It's cracking all down the inside. This could have been disaster. The anemones are still in here. I didn't realize, but what happened the other day is my daughter was getting into the hammock right here, and she accidentally knocked these over. And all this stuff fell, and I had no idea it cracked this. I mean, luckily, it's time for the anemones to move anyway, so I'm going to move the anemones over to their new home, and then we're going to just toss this tank in the trash. I am so glad I saw that before anything happened. Got the gloves. Let's just do this real quick. I'm just going to move them right over. I did water changes recently, so I think the water parameters, temperature-wise, and everything is going to be quite similar, so I'm just going to pick them up and move them over. I'm wearing gloves, and I know I'm going to be putting my whole hand in the water, and people are going to come in, well, it's pointless to wear gloves. I just don't want my hands to touch the anemones. I've already rinsed and done all that stuff, so I think it's okay. So let's go move them real quick. I almost forgot. I'm going to turn everything off on the 40-gallon. See, on the Lux 90. I'm just going to do that so that the anemones can kind of find their footing. There's only 3 of them, so. Give them maybe like a half hour to settle in, but I'll take the camera over so you can kind of see. Today's not like a super big day or anything like that, but we need to make the next step on the Seahorse tank right over here. And it's been leak tested for a week, and it held water. So we're just going to go ahead and use it. I'm probably going to have many sleepless nights thinking that it's going to be cracking, but we're going to try it. And if it ends up going south, well, you guys will all know. So I've ordered all the gear. I have all the gear, and I have worked up what I believe to be a decent plumbing plan. Now you might be like, why are you plumbing the tank? Let me show you why I'm gonna have to actually plumb the tank, even though this is like a real filtration chamber tank, but there are some things that I need to plumb. So let me just take you over and show you real quick. This is the RF-65, but it has the overflow into here, one chamber, and then the return chamber here. But there's just no place to put an additional pump in there, especially the pump the size I need, because for the Seahorse tank, I'm going to be running both, oh my goodness, this bad boy, the JBJ Arctica chiller, which is huge and needs quite a bit of flow. And I'm also going to be running right here, the UV sterilizer. So I would either have to use 2 pumps, good size pumps in the rear filtration chamber and then somehow plumb them down to here, but that just doesn't make any sense to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Reef Octopus. I got the Varios 4, which is going to be a little bit bigger than I need. The plan is to do an external pump. So this pump right here is going to be externally plumbed into here, and we're going to have the chiller on this side and the UV sterilizer somewhere over here. I'm going to have to take this out. This isn't going to work. And we're going to build a manifold that's going to go along the top. So we're going to have one exit here, one exit here, and then I'm going to have an additional spot here that won't be used. That could be like for a reactor. And then what I'm going to do up here, we're going to have the water flow from here, this side here. It's going to go down. It's going to go into the pump here. And then we're going to plumb it out here into the manifold. The pump has a 1 1/4 input, so I have to have a 1 1/4 inch here, and then the output is 1 inch. This is all going to be 1 1/4 inch basically from the back of the rear filtration chamber down in here. I'm going to plumb it into here, 1 1/4 inch. It comes out as 1 inch, right? So 1 inch all the way up to here. This is the chiller This is the UV sterilizer. These are both 3/4 inch. So it's going to be 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, bushing down to 3/4 inch. And then for the other one, we're going to have the manifold go this way, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, bushing down to 3/4 inch, bushing down to 3/4 inch. I'm not the best at plumbing, but I'm decent at it. I'm going with everything schedule 80, and the reason I'm going schedule 80 is not because it needs that. I just like the gray color a lot better. I'll probably have to run out and pick up a few schedule 40 plumbing parts just because I don't think I mapped it out quite perfectly. But we'll see. I mean, maybe I did. I've actually never successfully mapped it out correctly. I've actually never done like an inline external pump plumbing job before, so this will be a little bit new for me. And you could do this more simply, but I think it will look nice, and I think building that manifold in will really give me not only like a really cool looking setup, but I also think having that additional manifold spot for like a reactor in the future will just be helpful. This is sort of an expensive job. I mean, the chiller cost like $600, UV sterilizer was like $300. I think this pump was somewhere around $300, and then all the Schedule 80 plumbing, especially with like the fancy valves, is probably a couple $100. So it's not a cheap job, but obviously this isn't a cheap build. This is a really cool build, so I want it to be done right. This isn't like a how-to video. I have other videos about how to do plumbing stuff here, but I'll show you guys some of the steps I take along the way, and then the before and after pictures, and hopefully it turns out good. All right, let's do this. A lot of the gluing done. So we have the 1 1/4 inch hose barb into the 1 1/4 inch elbow, into the 1 1/4 inch street elbow, and then back down this way. So that will just sit really nicely right there. But we have the 3/4 inch for both the UV sterilizer, and then we have one for the chiller as well. And this is the output. So the water will come back into here. So these are done. I just need to attach some flexible tubing to these. So this is done as well. So we have the 1 1/4 inch this way, which is going to connect to where I just showed you. And then this is the 1 inch, which is going to connect to the manifold. Well, it's time for the first trip to the hardware store. I need better. I don't know if you can see here. See that? Look at this. See how it's bent? These will not cut the Schedule 80. So I need some better PVC cutters. And then I don't have any of the 3/4 inch flexible tubing, so I might as well go pick up that. I doubt this will be my only trip. When I'm doing plumbing, I usually have to make 3 or 4 trips. So this is trip number 1. I think I'll just take the scooter and go to Ace Hardware because it's close. Okay, I got it. I had to get the braided tubing. They didn't have any of the clear stuff. But you know what? The braided stuff's good anyways because it doesn't kink, and it's like a super kinky area, so kinky. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. All right, let's go home, finish this up. Probably got another couple hours left. So far, no mistakes, so we'll have to wait and see, you know? I mean, look at the difference in these. Here's the old one, right? It doesn't open very well. I can't even do it one-handed. Okay, there, one-handed, look at that. Thin blade. Check this bad boy out. Look at this. What? Okay, watch. I squeeze it. And then, wait, is it going to? Oh, last time it's spring-loaded open. Oh, okay, we go. Ready? Let's see if it'll do it this time. Spring-loaded. Ready? No! There. Oh, okay. I'll get back to work. I think the gluing's done, actually. Can't believe I'm saying that. And I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I made a mistake in ordering because all of this is 1 inch, but I forgot I'm going down to a 3/4 inch, but luckily I just had some white there. No one's gonna see it anyways, but I think it works, so check this out. Water comes up into here. It goes this way through the 1 inch into the double union, what do you call this? The ball valve. This will turn on and off the chiller. So here's the chiller line right here. And this reduces down with a bushing to a 3/4 inch here. So I can turn this whole side off, and then coming here to the left, it comes first to the T and then into the bushing 3/4. So I leave this off, then this portion's off, and then over here is the 1 inch line, and this will lead all the way over to a bushing 3/4 inch as well, which is going to be for the UV sterilizer. So now I just need to take this, I think, and secure it underneath. So let's do that right here. Okay, listen, I'm no plumbing guru. This is probably my like 5th or 6th hard plumbing job, but I think this one worked out really well. I didn't actually destroy or make any mistakes along the way, which is an absolute first for me. And as long as everything's watertight, which I think it will be, maybe some of the unions or the ball valves might need a little tightening, but other than that, I think it's gonna work out really well. And what's really cool about this system is it's a closed loop, so I'm not really losing that much head pressure. I'm losing pressure when it comes to all of my 90-degree turns and maybe a little bit of head pressure, but it's gonna be filled with water all the time. The reason I had to do it this way is just because there was no space in the rear filtration chamber to put any sort of pump. The tricky part's going to be tuning in the exact flow rate, because especially for the UV sterilizer, if the flow is either too little or too much, it's not going to kill the right kind of bacteria. And then I'm not as concerned for the chiller because I can just make adjustments if it's not cooling enough. So I'll have to do a little bit of calculations knowing it's about 1,000 gallons per hour, how many T's there are, how many 90-degree elbows there are, so I can try to get the flow in right. If you guys have any suggestions for how to really dial in the flow to where I want it to be, please leave a comment below. Well, since we had the crack tank and we had to move the nems over, let's just do a quick anemone update. So the two biggest anemones, although they look super similar, are actually quite different. This one on the bottom is the eBay one that's been in here for several weeks and is by far the healthiest one I have. And the one on the top is one of 3 that I got from Tyler at Coral Vault. And these were the ones that were in the hospital tank that just cracked and I had to throw away. So I had to move these over. This one down here never got any sort of antibiotic treatment. But these 3, this one and the other 2, got an entire week's worth of the antibiotic treatment. And so this one in here is doing surprisingly well. And this one has stayed put. Now, let me show you the other 2 that are from Tyler at Coral Vault as well. There's this one over here, which seems to have found a secure spot to put its foot, which is awesome. And doing well. No, I mean, since I put it in here, has not had any problems at all, hasn't exposed its stomach, nothing like that. So that one's doing well. The third one also found a good spot. What I've been noticing about these, I've noticed a few things. So on the whole here, what I've been finding is the anemones seem to really like the more intense lighting, because the more intense lighting is at the top of the rock work right over here, and they seem to be doing well. And while these rose bubble tip or rainbow, whatever you want to call them, are doing well, these 2 in the center and then on each side, the green bubble tips are almost completely dead. Let me show you those. Remember I had 10 of those really small green bubble tip anemones? This is the best one. Every other one of them is dead or dying. I treated these too, which is shocking. Here, let me show you this one over here. Look at this one. Let's see if we can even count them here. Okay, there's one. That's the healthiest one. Can you see right behind it there? Shriveled up piece of purple. That's 2, completely dead, almost. 3, look at this one. 4, oh, here's another one over here, completely dead. Look at that. 5, 6, 7. I mean, I'm beginning to think. Here's the reality. The only other thing I can really do with this tank, besides leave it alone, which is exactly what I'm doing, is to install a UV sterilizer. But as long as these ones over here are doing okay, I'm not even going to worry about these green bubble tips. The more I do, the worse they seem to do. So I'm just going to leave them. Hopefully things will get better with them, but if they don't, that's fine. The only other anemone update is this watermelon anemone. It's a mixed bag. I wouldn't say it's growing, but it's not shrinking. It has expunged its stomach a couple times, but I haven't seen it do that for about a week. So I'm hoping that's good. I'm not going to touch this tank. It seems to be settling in really nicely. I've taken out the GFO. Only filtration I have is a protein skimmer and mechanical filtration. My nitrates seem to be hovering around 4 to 5. My phosphates are under control. They weren't registering anything, but that's because I had a crazy amount of algae growth. I don't know if you remember this tank, but I had algae everywhere, and now it's completely gone. So that is it, due in large part to changing from pellet food to frozen food only. Other than that, I'm just going to wait and see. But look, I mean, this is what I've wanted the whole time. Beautiful, big anemones. I'm just hoping these stay healthy and happy.